Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I really want to talk about perfection and why I think we should give it up. We should stop focusing so much on trying to be perfect, trying to have the perfect things and so on. But first I want to say that of course perfection is kind of magical. Perfection is beautiful because of course it means like something that is in its best way possible. And I do think that nature often achieves perfection in a very natural way, like how our world works, how plants look, how landscapes look. For me, that's oftentimes perfection and I admire it. But what I want to talk about in this video is the perfection that we humans often strive for that is kind of artificial. So I think for us humans, perfection is far too often just about stuff. It is about owning the perfect car or having the perfect house, having the perfect shoes, or portraying the perfect picture to our neighbor, living the perfect life that we think is something all of us should strive for and achieve, earning the perfect salary, trying to achieve something that is really, really, really hard. Now I think growing is great, getting better at things is great, but too often we set the bar at perfection and it's almost impossible to meet that. One way we see it is that we as humans tend to buy new things all the time because we think if we have the next better thing, it will make us more happy, it will make us more perfect, it will be a perfect addition to our collection, it will make our house more perfect or our life more perfect. And in the end, we just accumulate stuff more and more and more, and our life does not become more perfect. It most likely just becomes more cluttered. And with all the stuff and things we add to our life, the vision of what is actually important to us, of achieving something perfect in any way, becomes less likely because our life is just drowning in things. So the first time I heard done is better than perfect, that really kind of changed something in me. So I think a lot of us know this sentence, done is better than perfect, but I think sometimes we should take it more seriously. And not just when it comes to a school paper, to writing your book, to sending an email that is complicated, or to doing a task in your household. Sometimes done is better than perfect might also be applied to things, to our life, to everything else that can be perfect and most of the time isn't. And done is better than perfect, the first time I heard it, one part of it was very relieving because I thought like, well, that's true. Maybe I do not have to get to 100% every single time I want to finish a task. Maybe it's enough if sometimes I say, okay, 80% is enough. Like I don't need to be at 100%. And on the other hand, it sounds sad because it sounds like, well, then you don't give your best. Then you settle with a mediocre outcome. Then you say, well, it's not great, but it's okay. I don't deserve better. But I don't think that it has to mean that. I do want to strictly take these two apart and say, settling for not perfect does not mean that you don't deserve better or that you don't give everything you have and that you could do more and should do more. I think sometimes allowing ourselves to not be perfect will be very beneficial. This channel, for example, I think it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist if I had only started once I thought I was perfect. Because let's be honest, I still struggle a lot with sometimes thinking that my videos are not good enough. And I don't think that's a problem, but it is something. Like I try to get better and oftentimes I'm not completely satisfied with how things turn out. But again, I think I would not have started if I wasn't okay with putting out something that maybe is only 80%. I will not sacrifice my sleep and mental health, like to a certain degree maybe, but not completely, just to make the perfect video, or just to please a friend, or just to have the perfect collection of shoes. I will not. I think we have to think about the investment that perfect would take. And I think a lot of times to achieve perfect, we would have to put in so much work that can just be used for other things. Like we have a certain amount of energy and I think we should distribute it according to our priorities and not to make every little thing perfect that maybe even doesn't mean so much to us. And saying all of this, I am of course still very much learning that. The same with the videos, it also is a topic, for example, with my things that I own. Being a minimalist, I am very aware of what I own. I do want to own the things that fit into my life perfectly, that are just right for what I need them to do, that are nothing more, nothing less, in the perfect color, the perfect material, the perfect price, the perfect moment. And of course, that is kind of impossible. And I think especially minimalism sometimes promotes perfection. It promotes that you only have your favorite pieces of clothing. But most of the time we do have at least some pieces that we love more than others. Or we do know that some pieces are falling apart and we need to replace them and we don't know where to get the new ones. Or we have furniture that is pretty useful but that is not does not look the way our ideal furniture would look. And I think here it is really about a balance. So I think we should stop trying to be perfect, but I also think that of course it is possible to try to have things and do things in a way that are as good as possible. I think we should set the bar at the balance between everything I can give when it comes to time, energy, money, and everything that I need from it. So a lot of times when buying a new garment, I do not find the perfect one, but I maybe find one that ticks 9 out of my 10 boxes. And that is a good thing. So when we try to live the perfect life, with the perfect stuff, with the perfect mindset, with the perfect people, with the perfect time management, I think it's important to, of course, take steps into the direction of perfection. But especially when it comes to advertisement, I think we have to be really careful. Because most of the time, if something is advertised as perfect, it won't be in our life. Most of the time, just adding a shiny object will not make us more happy. Most of the time, if we think that something would solve a problem for us, maybe it creates a different problem. So I think especially when it comes to stuff or when it comes to making changes, it really makes sense to be very intentional about these things. It makes sense to think ahead of the decision to make sure that that decision would actually be beneficial for our life. So when I think about buying a new backpack, because I think that one would solve all of my problems, would be perfect in every situation, I think I should take a close look at, do I actually have a current problem with my current backpack? Because if I realize that my current backpack is fine, that there's no actual problem with it, then most likely that's just advertisement for problems that I don't even have. So if the backpack solves problems that I don't have, it's not worth buying. But if I do have problems with my current backpack, I can really think about if the backpack that I'm about to buy would solve these problems. And I should also try to think about what the good things are about my current backpack, to be sure that the new backpack would not open up other problems that I did not have with my old one, because my old one was perfect in these categories. I hope you get what I mean. But I think this can be applied to buying every new thing, to making every major decision, moving houses or having a new job, making a big life decision. Of course, it also makes sense to sometimes be spontaneous, to sometimes just give into our gut feeling or to see what is best for right now. But in general, I think it makes sense to stop striving for perfection and seeing what it is that we have currently, what the things are that we want to change, and if the things that we think about changing would actually solve these problems. I think perfection is a nice idea. And I think humanity and art and our minds will always kind of strive for perfection. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we should find a way to not be disappointed if changes, new products and things like that will not give us that feeling of perfection that we thought they might give us. So what I will do is just enjoy the perfection of nature that I see around me, laugh at the perfection of life, when it sometimes is hilarious how things fall into place or work out, or I have thought that things are weird in the past, and now I think, well, it was actually perfect, it was actually great. And stop trying to have the perfect things, the perfect life, portray the perfect picture on other people, and focus on myself and see what the actual steps are that I can take to make my life better, without like always focusing on these 100% of perfections, and maybe just seeing how I can get from 60% to 70%. I hope this video was interesting to you, and I would be really interested in your opinion down below in the comments. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up, because that would really help my channel. And if you want to support it even further, you can think about becoming a member of this channel. And if you want to see more videos right now, I'm going to link you a video here and a playlist here that you can check out if you have time now and if you are interested. And I also hope to see you next time. Bye!